Some photographs were never meant to be forgotten. The Frame Diary. Landsberg Prison. Nazi war criminal Vladislav Doperlala, moments before facing justice. Lons-le-Saunier, France, April 1897. Pierre Vaillant led to the guillotine. He took the lives of his siblings on Christmas Day. A portrait labeled Margarita, Williche, published with measurements of her skeleton. Science that reduced humans to data. Bergen-Belsen, April 1945. A camp inmate reduced to bones delouses his clothes after liberation. Lodz, Poland, World War II. Mothers and children displaced by German occupiers, nowhere to go. Ravensbrück survivor Jadwiga Jido reveals scars from Nazi experiments. Her body became evidence at the doctor's trial. 1946 to 1948. Female psychiatric patients unknowingly exposed to syphilis, never told, never consented. Whitnell, North Carolina. Children heading to a 12-hour night shift on a cold December evening, supporting a father who wouldn't work. Early 20th century America. Child labor everywhere. Young hands doing adult work. Dr. Hitzig examines Pelagia Makowska, a Ravensbrück survivor. Scars from medical experiments remained. A pressure chamber. A prisoner during Nazi high-altitude experiments. Many didn't survive. Hordal Werk Children's Home. Children in a playpen. Institutional care that was rarely kind. Overhead view of a special ward. Beds separated by screens. Everyone masked. Isolation was the only treatment. March 1946. Ferenc Selassie, the Hungarian Hitler, faces justice. An unknown photographer captured the moment. Near Noyon, June 1916. Senegalese soldiers captured by German troops. Colonial men fighting a European war. New Jersey, January 22, 1963. Protesters outside as Ralph Hudson faces execution inside. The last in state history. Varanasi, British India. A prisoner on death row. Identity unknown. Only this frame remains. Blanche Monnier, 1901. Locked in a small room for 25 years by her own family. A girl and her doll, year unknown. Something about this image feels off. Maybe the stillness, maybe the stare. Some photographs ask more than they answer. Twins in homemade costumes, 1930s. Meant to be playful, now looks like a nightmare. Innocence and dread, one frame. A creepy costume, year unknown. Handmade, haunting. Before store-bought masks, people made their own. The results were terrifying. A girl in a mask with her doll, year unknown. Face hidden, doll staring blankly. Some old photos feel like they're watching you. U.S. Navy L-8 blimp, 1942. It landed on its own, but the crew had vanished. No bodies, no explanation, never solved. Shackleton's Antarctic expedition, 1916. Ship crushed by ice, survival uncertain. Against all odds, every man made it home alive. A mummy autopsy, early 1900s. Scientists unwrapping the ancient dead. What they found taught us more than any written record. Victorian trick photography, year unknown. Long before Photoshop, double exposures and clever illusions, the Victorians loved their tricks. Alaska, 1910. A whale's skeletal remains on the shore, a giant reduced to bones, a reminder of how small we are. Kakheti, Georgia, 1881. A man beside an enormous wine container. Georgian winemaking goes back thousands of years. Some things never change. Chicago, July 1934. People lining up to view John Dillinger's body, America's most wanted, now a public spectacle. Berlin, 1933. A circus performer inside an aquarium car surrounded by crocodiles. Entertainment had no limits, neither did the risks. New York, 1907. A man in a deep-sea diving suit called the Iron Man. Electric charging, pressure protection, cutting edge for its time. Paris, 1935. A visitor holds a candle in the catacombs, smiling beside skulls. 6 million remains beneath the streets. She's not alone down there. Ostend, Belgium, 1914. A crowd watches a British airship fly over the port. The sky was becoming a battlefield. Everyone looked up. Actor Johnny Eck, 1932. Born with an underdeveloped lower torso, posed for the film Freaks, he turned limitation into legend. Roosevelt Island, New York, 1932. Women learning to shoot inside a prison, an era of uncertainty, even inmates trained to protect themselves. Los Angeles Zoo, 1939. Billy the elephant put down after becoming uncontrollable, a difficult decision that still raises questions. American Natural History Museum, 1933. Staff cleaning an elephant skin for display. Preservation required patience and a strong stomach. Amsterdam, 1935. Little Anne Frank on her father's office doorstep. Otto took this photo. Within a decade, her diary would change the world. 1920s. Shoeshine boys listening to war stories from a Civil War veteran. Generations bridged by tales of battle. 2 men testing a bulletproof vest by shooting at each other while wearing it. Confidence in the product or complete madness, maybe both. Gladys Roy and Ivan Unger playing tennis on a plane at 3,000 feet. No safety nets, no harnesses, just balance and nerve. After World War I, officers pay tribute to horses lost in battle. Millions served alongside soldiers. Most never came home. Ushuaia, penal colony prisoners in outdoor cages. Volunteers promised reduced sentences to build a civilian jail. The founding stone laid in 1902, within sight of the Beagle Channel. Rangoon, Burma, 1890s. Prisoners working a treadmill inside a jail, photographed by Watts and Skeen. Punishment that never stopped moving. Sarajevo, 1941. A Muslim woman covers the yellow star of her Jewish neighbor with her veil. Protection hidden in plain sight. United States, 1908. Children heading to a 12-hour night shift. Child labor before child protection existed. Coney Island, 1904. People on display in a human zoo. Human beings exhibited as entertainment. New York City, 1975. Two homeless men squatting in the shadow of the newly completed World Trade Center. Poverty beneath progress. The Gadget, 1945. The first atomic bomb. Before Hiroshima, before Nagasaki. This is where it all started. Blackwell's Island, New York, circa 1888. An inmate sits in a prison cell doorway. Photographed by Jacob Riis. Life behind bars, frozen in time. Washington, D.C., July 7, 1865. The scaffold where Lincoln's conspirators met their fate. Witnesses gathered in the yard below. Mexico, 1867. Emperor Maximilian I, photographed in his coffin after facing a firing squad. Royalty brought low. Forsyth County, North Carolina, circa 1894. An outdoor gallows near the county poorhouse, built for one purpose. Thomasville, Georgia, early 1900s. Chain gang prisoners and guards pose in front of a wooden building. Punishment on display. A ward for women in a British mental hospital. Rows of beds, patients confined inside. Care looked different back then. Carleton County Jail, 1895. A prison cell, bare walls, iron bars, no comfort to be found. A man locked in a restraint chair, photographed by H. Clark, 1869. Standard treatment for mental patients at the time. Free movement after Halstead's breast surgery. Early medical photography, documenting recovery one frame at a time. Rancho Los Amigos Hospital, the iron lung ward. Patients sealed in metal cylinders. Polio kept them alive, but trapped. 6 images showing plastic surgery progression on a World War I soldier. Likely Walter Yeo, treated by Dr. Harold Gillies in 1917, from devastation to reconstruction. North Pownell, Vermont, child labor at a cotton mill, photographed by Lewis Hine, small hands doing adult work. Nipomo, California, migrant mother, photographed by Dorothea Lange, the face of the Great Depression. Laura Nelson and her son, victims of racial violence in America, a chapter history tried to forget. Mid-20th century, an African-American man at a colored drinking fountain. Jim Crow in a single frame. Little Rock, Arkansas, 1957. Crowds protesting as black students tried to enter school. Integration met with hate. Paris, 1914. Refugees from Belgium fleeing German invasion. Families carrying everything they owned. Muhldorf, a Dachau subcamp. Rows of wooden huts. A place built for suffering. Bergen-Belsen concentration camp, a memorial site where thousands were laid to rest together. Hiroshima, aftermath, aerial view of a flattened city, a river winding through rubble. One bomb changed everything. Large fumes of smoke rising from a dock area, buildings and water in the foreground, destruction captured mid-moment. Utah, people gather at a graveyard for victims of the Schofield mine tragedy, one of America's deadliest mining tragedies. Stillwater, New Zealand, a memorial where 33 victims of the Brunner mine disaster were laid to rest. A crowd with umbrellas gathered around overturned train cars. Rural area, aftermath of a rail accident, curiosity and grief. Chicago, February 1931. Unemployed men lined up at a soup kitchen opened by Al Capone, a gangster feeding the hungry. New York City, 1935. A man lying on a pier during the Great Depression. No work, no home, just the water.
Vietnam, 1972. 9-year-old Kim Phuc runs from a napalm attack, the photograph that changed how the world saw war. 1920. Men shooting at a man from close range, testing a bulletproof vest, confidence or madness. London, 1940. A girl sits in the wreckage of her bombed-out home, holding her doll. Everything else gone. 1940s. A sailor meets his baby for the first time. 14 months at sea. One moment worth waiting for. 1914. A mother repairs the family car while her husband is away at war. Women kept the world running. Auschwitz, 1940. Faces behind the wire. Names forgotten. Eyes that say everything. Cincinnati. A man searches for books in the former public library. The building demolished in 1955. Now a parking lot. France. Until 1956, children served wine with their school lunch. A different era entirely. Titanic, 1912. Michel and Edmund Navratil, the only children rescued without a parent or guardian, orphans of the deep. 1917. A lucky British soldier showing off his damaged helmet, inches from death, still standing. Georgia, 1910. Two barefoot boys standing on moving electric looms at a cotton mill. Photos like this changed child labor laws. Jerusalem, 1920. A sign reads, "The Palestine German Bank," a window into the region's multicultural past. Mississippi, 1970. The first interracial marriage in the state, 3 years after Loving v. Virginia made it legal. Circa 1864. The only known photograph of an African American Union soldier with his family. History in a single frame. 1955. Rare photograph of Marilyn Monroe without makeup, the woman behind the icon. 1980. 112-year-old Timuruz Vanacha, veteran of World War I and the Russian Civil War. Beside him, his son, Ivan, a World War II veteran. 2 wars, 2 generations. Kenya, 1988. Barack Obama visiting his step-grandmother Sarah, affectionately called Grandma Sarah. Family roots across continents. Charlotte, 1957. Dorothy Counts, the first black girl at an all-white school. Taunted by classmates at Harry Harding High, she kept walking. Margaret Ann Neve passed away in 1902 at 110 years old. Born in 1792, she lived across 3 centuries. Buchenwald, May 1945. Wedding rings found by U.S. Army soldiers near the concentration camp. Thousands of lives reduced to metal bands. Early 1900s, Blackfoot Chief Two Guns White Calf, a face that defined the American frontier. Wessel, Germany, March 24, 1945. A dead U.S. paratrooper of the 17th Airborne suspended from his parachute in a tree. Operation Varsity. Istanbul, 1880. An Ottoman woman rests her head on the tombstone of her daughter. Grief needs no translation. Iran, 1989. Funeral of Ruhollah Khomeini. Crowds stretching beyond sight. A nation in mourning. Uganda, 1980. A starving boy and a missionary. Hunger captured in silence. 1915. During the Armenian Genocide, an army officer teases starving Armenian children by showing bread. Cruelty in plain sight. Dorcourt Holiday Camp, 1939. A camp leader rings the dinner bell for refugees. Some order in the chaos. Harwich, December 2nd, 1938. German Jewish girl Helga Samuel met by a Kindertransport agent upon arrival. Safety found across the water. 1938. A refugee child met by a Kindertransport agent. A new beginning, an old life left behind.